Yo, this music is a day job. I'm your host Sean, and it's brought to you by the Concert app. The Concert app is a artist accelerator app that takes artists from opener to headliners on tour and gives the fan the best experience in independent live music. Now, today was a specific question, and the question was, let's pull this up. What do you think about performing with a performance track versus just rapping over your regular track? And now this is very controversial because especially with, I guess you can say, hip hop artists. Um uh it is a little bit with other artists, but not as much as with hip hop artists. With hip hop artists, like, people will say if you use backup tracks, you are the worst rapper in the world. Like, they will like die by it, and then other people, don't feel that way. Like, totally don't feel that way, and just be like, "Yo, I'm rapping over the track dead off my album." You know what I'm saying? Like, now see, so I'm gonna get controversial because I am going to tell you like the reality of this, and it's not either one. So like, this is, and people might be mad at me. People might be like, what? Like, you can't rap? No, because I'll kill somebody on any of this. Don't make me start. These bars is crazy. I got bars. Let me say it like this. The first thing you have to look at is, I split it into two things: the location and the type of rapper it is, or the type of musician it is. Okay. Now, first thing I will say is, people are going to say, well, the consumer needs to hear you because if they could have heard the track, they could have heard the track at home. Now, I'll get into this once I talk about the type of musician or rapper or whatever the person decides to be. Okay, so we're going to let's pin that, and then we're going to come back to that. Okay. When I say location, this is what's crazy about locations and people aren't really taken into consideration. Um Not every place has the best sound. Like, we're going to be honest here. I don't care who's the engineer. People be engineers and saying they know everything. It does not have the best sound. And now what happens a lot of time and sometimes in this is, because the sound sounds so bad, sometimes you want to lower the mics a tad bit because they sound horrible, and let the track have more backups on it than it usually would have. I wouldn't say rap directly over the album track, but I would say it may need to have more than usual. And now sometimes it might even be like the album track. It matters what this place is, because the thing is the one thing, and this is where the consumer piece is, which we just pinned. Your consumer, if you come in there and it sounds horrible and you are just the beat and you, and it sounds like trash, that's worse than hearing it and you rapping over it too, because it might sound cleaner. That's the crazy thing. If you lower the mics and you let it meet a little bit, it might sound cleaner. And so know where you're at. Because if I'm in like this back, like this like bar, and it's like they have like these little speakers in like karaoke speakers, and it's like I'm trying to give them a little sample of what I do, I might as well. But then if you're in a place, like you're in like a theater or amphitheater or something like that, where they got that clean sound and everything, then spit it out. Like, give it to them. Give it to them with nothing, like maybe a minimal amount of backtracks. Now I'm gonna give you another secret of this. If it's an amphitheater outside, you need to keep some of the backtracks there, because if you're outside, it's going to be harder to project. It's going to be harder to project consistently because the outside air and everything like that. This is mattering if it can change when it's cold. It can change when it's hot. Also, you got to take into account elevation. So, like, for instance, I've gone on tour through the mountains, and some of the shows were actually outside in tents that were like that held like 2,000 people. but they're outside, and so it's in the mountains where it's freezing cold, and your voice will knock out. So then you have to understand where your ad libs are so you can take breaths. Or otherwise you're gonna lose. You're gonna just pass out. So that's one of the things when I hear people have this argument, I know they ain't never toured. I know they ain't never done anything. Because when you start saying that, man, you gotta rap over you. When you start saying stuff like that, I can tell that you haven't been in some circumstances. So then it's like you may have done like some shows or something like that, but you haven't done all the types of shows that are like possible. Like I have shows where we've been on rooftops, and when you're on a rooftop, the elevation is different, the air is different. You're gonna need to know where you can, if you're rapping and you're spitting fast or you're even singing, some of these pieces you're gonna need to take breaths at different spots, and to catch that at a space, to catch that at a level where you could do it clean, you'd have to do it so many times. And it's not like people are just performing on tops of buildings every day. So it's like you're not going to do it that much. So then in this particular situation, you probably need to ad libs spread out nicely, and some backtracks, spread out harmonies if you're singing, whatever, have some of that mixed in. Now, as I said, if you're in a like a theater that's very like high tech, has the right boards, everything like that, and has a good sound engineer, then yeah, go clean. Go clean. I never, the only thing like I say sometimes, like hooks, I don't like, being a rapper, hooks I don't go clean on. Hooks, I let the hooks rock. And then the verses you go in on. Um and then if you and see, I'm not even mad if you're doing something new that you usually don't do, and you got the backtracks, or you got the album version on it, and you doing something new, and you gonna give them a sample of that. Give it to them like that. Like, I don't think, as a consumer, I don't feel no type of way, because it's like they doing something new, and they trying to still figure it out. Because see, the thing is it's kind of like comedy. Remember, they always tell comedians they need to go around, work on their material in tons of different places, and so they go work on their material till they get it up for their final show. Just in this world is like there is no way to really do it in front of people and get the participation that you really can get. So then, like, people say, go practice. No, because when you go practice, yes, that's good for you to know the words, to know those parts that you think you're going to do and everything like that. But then when you're in front of people, it's a different response. And then it's different types of demographics that you're doing it in front of. So you got to see what works with who and why. And so if you are spitting something new, whether you don't fully know it, or you're like kind of struggling with it, maybe you need to and say that to the crowd. Like, yo, we about to try this new joint. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play it regular. I'm gonna play it, you know what I'm saying, how it is, and then we gonna ride out to it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's no definite answer to this, because I don't feel like, I've heard tons of dudes that claim they can rap go on like a full instrumental and be horrid and be the worst thing I've ever seen. At the same pace, I've also heard rappers that put the track on and it was horrid too. But if you know what you're doing, and you're deciphering what's going to make better sense and better for the sound, hey, second piece, what type of artist are they? And this is where this can change too. If you're dancing like MC Hammer, and you're going to entertain like that, because I seen MC Hammer when I was young. Um, if you're dancing like MC Hammer and you're entertaining like that, I don't expect you to be on an instrumental the whole time. I don't. Like, because your voice will knock out, you'll sound like you're yelling, like doing all that. I just don't expect it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost impossible. If you're jumping like that all the time, you're going to be breathing like that, and then the sound isn't going to sound that great. I've watched some of the most amazing artists in the world, the most amazing, get out of breath, and then it didn't sound the greatest because they had the clean track on. So if you are an artist that's turned up like that, I don't expect as much from the clean track. Like, that can have fillers in it, that can have tons of different things, ad libs, backtracks. Sometimes even the track, if it's like one of just crazy ones that you're not even going, like I watched, I'm not even gonna say the artist name, but I watched one artist and they had actually done a couple of clean tracks. And then when they did one song that is like just the most turned up and the crowd is crazy, they left everything on it. Like it was the dead album track. But the person jumped into the crowd, did some of the song in the crowd. They carried the person around the crowd and everything. Everybody chanted it. And then they threw him up into the rafters. He jumped back off the rafters, and the song is just playing. And it was just an experience. And that's like one of the best things I've seen because it was an experience. We was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're that type of artist or it's that type of song, sometimes you don't need to you need to just let it ride and let the people just feel it. You know what I'm saying? And then on the other end, I've seen songs where and types of artists that do songs that you really need to listen to these pieces and hear them do it exactly how they're going to do it that night. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's the styles. Like if I go see J. Cole rap, I want to hear him rap like clean. Clean. But if I go see uh Lil Jon, I don't really care if he does it clean. Like I want to hear the song and I want to see him like shake his dreads and go crazy. Like it's different styles in this, you know what I'm saying? Or if someone's a dancer, as I said, if I go see MC Hammer, I don't I don't care to hear him rap it totally on clean. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just here for the excitement, the fireworks, the jumping around, the dancing, and all the theatrics. But if I go see someone like a Jay-Z, I want to hear it. You know? And then there's some dudes, you have both. You have like you're gonna get a little sample platter of both. Like you're gonna get the just the pure rapping, and then you're gonna get some of the other stuff. And that's for some of the other artists too. Like I guess you can say like some of the singers that dance heavy. If you dancing heavy and you singing some of it, and then some of it backtracks. So it's like mix it up. Just know what you're doing. And I think people will respect your style, whatever which way you go. So once again, this music is a day job. We just talked about whether to use the backtracks, whether not, all that, all that. So make sure whatever you do, make it what you feel it should be. That's what you should do. And once again, as I always say, we're in 4 to 5 states right now, trying to get to others. If you're in some of the states that we're in, Utah, Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, soon to be Texas and California. If you're in any of those, start getting onto the app because we're going to start having more shows out in these places. And of course, get more artists on there. And if you have any venues, let us know because we can get into those venues. If you're not in any of those states, hopefully we'll be out towards you soon. If you're trying to get it out there in a rush, tell artists that you know to get on the app ASAP. Get on the app because the more demand, the quicker we can get out there. If you know any venues, let us know because then that makes it easier for us to start throwing shows out there. Once again, this music is a day job. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We want to get this information out to everybody so they can start using the app, everything like that, and they can start turning music into a day job. Yeah.